With the all-time Big 12 series tied 7-7, the last matchup between these once Big 8 foes will decide who has bragging rights for the foreseeable future. But on the field, the game started off as a defensive showdown as neither team was able to establish a run, and both teams were forced to punt away on their first drive. But on the Tigers' second drive, senior punter Matt Grabner was able to pin the Buffaloes on their own 1-yard line, and from there the defense would force a safety. And following that big defensive play, the Tigers' offense found their rhythm as Blaine Gabbert faked the run, and he was able to find Jarrell Jackson in the end zone for a touchdown. Jackson has already matched his touchdown total from last year. And as the offense was able to find the end zone, the defense did everything in their power to keep the Buffaloes out of it, as they will go on to force a field goal, and their defense goes on to block that same field goal. And on the Tigers' next drive, Blaine Gabbert would scramble forward, but he gets sandwiched and goes down hard. He took his time getting up and getting back to the huddle. But don't worry, Tigers fans, he would return to the game as he would find Michael Agnew on the bubble screen, as Agnew would drag defenders through the goal line for a touchdown, which capped a 15-play, 97-yard drive. Colorado had a chance to score, but the secondary covered up the receivers, and Dominique Hamilton was able to get the coverage sack. The Tigers go into the half up 19 points, as they held the Colorado offense to 0 points and under 100 yards of total offense. But in the second half, Colorado running back Rodney Stuart was able to get some yards, but the Tigers defense stepped up and were able to limit his big plays. But speaking of big plays, James Franklin fills in for the injured Blaine Gabbert as he shows his wheels as he jets for a 34-yard gain. Franklin was the Tigers' leading rusher of this game based solely on this run. Franklin also showed off his accuracy as he puts the ball where only his receiver can get it. As a true freshman, Franklin came in and played with the poise of a senior. Kip Edwards is another player who showed the poise today as he finished the day with 7 tackles, 1 sack, and this interception, which iced the game for the Tigers. And all that was left after that was for James Franklin to get some grass stains on his right knee. But the question remains on whether he'll be forced to play next week.
Blaine Gabbert, and he's got a high hip pointer. That's what we're told. Tried to go back out and just had trouble rotating. James Franklin went in and did some good things, and so we'll see what happens there.
James Franklin showed off why he was the 4th-ranked dual-threat quarterback according to Rivals.com as he puts his own spin on the Missouri Tigers spread offense.
He brings a little bit different, it's kind of like every quarterback brings a little bit different to the position. His running abilities different than Blaine's, different than Chase Daniels. He doesn't run like Brad does, but he's a quicker type athlete. That's something. So he can do some things that those guys can't, and those guys could do some things that he couldn't. So.
Although he is only a true freshman, one thing that separates him from other freshmen is how calm and level-headed he remains throughout his time in the game.
My dad growing up, especially quarterbacks, it's always good to stay kind of one emotion. Can't get too high, can't get too low because you're considered the leader on the team. But growing up, my dad, he always taught me to, stay calm. If you make a play, expect it. The whole point of offense is to score, so when you score, don't act surprised and things like that.
But the story of the game is the improved play of the once maligned Tigers defense.
Basically, we just go out there and we're trying to get better every game. I mean, some games we gave up a little something here and there that we probably shouldn't have gave up, but today we just all put it together and put together a pretty dominant performance. And basically now we just got to be more consistent with it.